The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's Nikki Glaser Podcast. Welcome to the show. It is Thursday.
I know.
Made it through a whole week.
Yeah, we really did.
We really did. That's the voice of my recurring guest this week.
And recurring boyfriend.
And
No, like it.
I gotta say, you're looking very handsome today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You look lovely. And
I look
so does your
handsome, too.
mom.
And my mom is also here, everyone. Welcome
Thank
to the
you,
show,
Chris.
Julie Glaser and Chris Convy.
Thank you.
You can
Thank
hear
you.
Chris Convy on the Courtney Show, which is not only a radio show, but a in St. Louis, if you're here, 106.5 The Arch. But you can also listen on the Arch app. If you are not in local, you can listen live on the Arch app, which I do every morning because I am not in my car. Or you can listen to the Courtney Show podcast.
And I mean, it's
anywhere.
it would be a long way to get through, but we mention Nikki basically every day.
You do. I mean,
You
it's
are
just
a
a
part
good
of.
show.
You're just a part of our.
It is
the
fun.
fabric of the show.
It is fun to be listening and to just like hear them get you guys like will get on a subject that I'm like, I know Chris has an anecdote of like,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden my name comes up and it's like,
Boom.
it's not even just you, like Brando and Courtney, like
Yeah.
I'm in the theme song.
Yeah, you're in
It's
the
so
theme song. It's
nice.
awesome. And then
Really?
we're going to start talking about you a lot, Mrs.
Would
Glaser.
you? Could
and,
you?
And Noah now that I know that all these new things about her, we're going to start talking about her a
Yeah,
lot.
we
too.
just learned. I mean,
that you
I
are the
knew
most
it.
fascinating woman.
Well, what
Chris
did you just
knows.
learn about Noah, Mom?
I just learned that wasn't her first language.
What isn't?
English.
Yes.
So, what is your first language?
First language is Hebrew.
Hebrew. Okay, got it.
Mrs. Glaser, what are
How do
your
you say-
15 favorite things about Noah?
No, please don't do this to me. I don't. You should know I hate being put on the spot like this.
She hates it.
I could name 15 right now, but I'm not going to have to put her on the spot. But no, I love Noah.
Yes.
I've been to her home in Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah, they like hung out when
We
my mom and
hung
dad
and-
were in Arizona for
Yeah.
a month. Not going to say which one because my mom doesn't want people to know when she's out of town.
Exactly.
Nikki, if you let people know when I'm out of town,
Exactly.
they're going to come. They're going to steal our artifacts. Your dad has artifacts.
They're worth a lot of money.
He has arrowheads. You guys do not even bother trying to rob my parents.
Oh man,
it's-
take the driftwood.
My mom
if
doesn't
you
even
do.
know where she's hidden things that are valuable. My mom hides valuable things.
And they're hidden for what?
And
good.
will-
Forever.
For like she doesn't she'll hide things and then won't remember where she put them. She
And
sometimes
I'm so good at hiding things.
Do you ever find things like years later and you're like, I've been looking for this?
Oh,
Of
hell
course.
yeah.
Of course.
You kidding me?
I don't. Why am I here? Because you could just be me, Nikki. That would be
Oh my god.
the answer to the
My
whole-
poor mom. I was in such a tude this morning because I was like running around packing and I'm also trying to stay on vocal rest. And so she's like, don't talk, Nikki. Stop talking. And then she's like, are you being good about talking and about not talking? And I'm like, the truth is I haven't been great about it.
No, that's not what you said.
No, well, I said,
said,
well, I'm telling
"It's
you
none
what
of your business."
I said it's none of your business because it isn't.
But
But my answer to that was like, do you ever have people ask you a question, and especially like your mom or someone that cares about you, and you know that the answer is not going to be what they want, so the answer that I was going to give her, if I was being honest, is no, I haven't been great.
Yeah.
And then the thing that will proceed that will be, well, Nick, you got it. Like, there's not going to be like, oh,
You know
it's-
exactly
well, you
where the
know,
conversation
it's
is
only
going.
going to be a
well, she
scolding.
thinks she does.
Well, what were you going to say if I said, no, Mom, I haven't been good?
No,
well,
here's
you
my
gotta
thing.
be good, Nick.
You gotta
well,
be
I know
good.
that. You're not contributing. You have no information to give me after that sentence than just a shame or scold, which I'm already doing to myself every time I
No,
talk.
here's the thing.
Okay.
We have not conversed, period, since you've gotten these polyps. So I don't know anything.
I've had polyps for 20 years, honestly.
And so
well,
you guys haven't talked
probably.
in a long time.
So we haven't talked for years. And
Really
this
talked,
explains
you know?
it. It explains why we haven't talked. But no, well, all I was really looking for was, I never heard what the doctor said, what anyone has said
Can we
to
just,
you.
let's just run the conversation and what you would have said if I gave you the right answer. Will you ask me again? Let's just do it. Let's just simulate
Nikki,
it. And it's okay if.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Have you been good with your voice?
Honestly, no.
Really? What have you been doing? Have you been talking?
Yeah.
I mean, has the doctor said that's allowed or
No,
not?
they said it's not good.
Oh, because I didn't know what the doctor said.
Okay, well, they said it's not good, and I've been not following the doctor's orders.
Well, I what can I say? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to say
not allowed to?
I'm not allowed to say anything.
To be a mom.
You will never know what I said.
There's another example of it. What was the other thing we got into this morning where I was rude to you?
God, I mean, it just came right off the bat.
Yeah.
It says,
Do you remember the first time that Nikki was rude to you?
remember when you were
coming out of
you
your
were-
vagina
exactly.
and going like, "It's too roomy in here."
You were like,
Dad, what'd you do?
you were crying right off the bat. I was like,
No,
what
when
the
did I
hell is
become a bitch? Like, when did
Nikki? She's right off the bat. We're gonna do
No,
this?
when did I do want to know because I'm kind of become interested in the fact that I might be a little bit autistic because one of the besties sent me a book recommendation and then yesterday after the podcast someone wrote me and said you might have borderline personality disorder, and then I looked that up and I was like, oh God. Even though the only thing I don't have for borderline, I pretty much do all the checklists. I don't have fits of anger, and I don't, even though I want to a lot of times, I do get upset, but I think it's a normal amount. People with borderline like scream and like will cut people off really brazenly and just be like shut people out of their life like in an instant, and it's really like that just didn't resonate with me. And I sent it to Anya, who knows me very well, and she was like, I know people with borderline, you don't do this. And even though I've wanted to cut people off and be like, we're done here, I don't normally follow through on that. But I do have that desire. Does that make it? I don't know. I have to get, Anya goes, you have to get diagnosed by a psychiatrist. And I was like, do you think I think a bestie is a doctor? Someone DMing me? Of course I know that. But
Well, there are bestie doctors, but
Sure,
not that
yeah.
one.
But there are besties who, either suffer with these things or know people and might have, and there is something about, Googling what you have and like
Yes.
everything leads to cancer or whatever. But like, there are times where you can find out what you are and then go consult a doctor and be like, hey, I read a checklist and some of these things. So anyway, I've been reading this book about neurodivergence, and
Where do I fit in this?
I was wondering
Am I borderline?
Like when I was a child, I had sensory issues with socks.
Yeah, you did.
Like I remember just being
Certain blankets, certain socks.
Oh, okay.
like,
What would you?
But
what
I
did
understood
you do?
it kind of.
yeah, what would I do?
Well, you would go, no, I can't have that. Or like, I don't like that. But
I just remember being in the first house we lived in St. Louis and having to put on those socks that I had to wear to the Catholic school I went to. And it's part of my uniform. So like I have to, and it's like, also we're new in town and my mom just doesn't want her daughter to look unpresentable. And like, I just remember being like, Nikki, you have to wear these. And it was like putting on a like,
Oh, because it's like canvas. It's like sandpaper.
no, they were nice wool socks that were soft. Like most people like them, but it was just like hell.
I think they were cheaper socks. Like they were thinner socks than you were used to.
It just don't. I don't know. No, like it. It's
No,
like it was like
and
nails on a
that's-
chalkboard.
That's kind of your, like it's in your mouth almost stuff. Like
Yes.
you're like, oh, I can feel this.
It's
Like you're eating it or something.
It's like Kirsten used to put her socks in her mouth when we'd go to gymnastics just to torture me and be like,
Oh.
"What is this bothering you?" And I'd be like, "Stop it!" But when did I become like a straight up like? When did I start? Because I think a lot of people have
Never
kids.
been a bitch. Who would ever say a child's a bitch anyway? No one would do that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I did say that.
Oh boy, you said it a lot. But I understand it because I think I was, and it's like so hard to deal with. Like everyone talks about this. Like everyone I know that has kids that have made it to teenage years, they always say, "I thought I was ready, but it's something happens around this age, and it becomes very like your
where they're
kids
just
go
mean
from
constantly,
sweet
yeah.
to like they are like get away and like I hate you." Like when did that happen?
I mean, I can remember you throwing fits like when you were two.
3 months old.
Two. I mean, we could tell that you were just not, you were
Did Lauren throw fits?
not like that.
See what?
You were, I mean,
Was
you
there
were
any
two
part of
different
you-
kids that were totally different children.
Was there any part of you that was like, we should get this looked at? Or was it, it
No.
wasn't like that extreme?
No.
Okay.
Because I had a sister, kind of, you reminded me of my sister.
Peggy?
Yeah, growing up. And I was like, I thought it was kind of normal. I was like, well, that's what little kids do.
And me and Peggy are very similar
You kind of are.
in our adulthood as well.
You definitely are.
right?
I think so.
That's so weird.
But you don't think so.
No, I do think so.
Oh, okay, good. 'Cause-
She's very successful.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's driven.
Yeah.
One time we went to a spinning class together. Spin? Not spinning.
Yeah. Spinning.
Spin class.
Spin class. I think it's spinning class would just be us twirling around.
No, it's called
It is a spin class.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
spin
spin
class,
class.
okay.
So we went to a spin class
I've never
together.
been to one.
I hate
You
that
get
they call
you
it.
get really
like,
dizzy at one of
just
them.
say biking class. Like not recumbent, but like stationary bike class.
Just say that.
That's a lot.
When
That's
it
a lot,
started saying
yeah.
spinning, I was just like, I hate that. It was like kind of arape to me. So, but now I've accepted it. It's part of the lexicon. But I remember we went to a spin class once and we're both competitive people, obviously. Like that's what makes us driven, I think. She started her own graphic design company in San Francisco and became a Fortune 500 company shortly after. Like she's so impressive in her field.
Yeah.
And as this like independent woman, like who's just made her own money and like made her own name for herself, she's like so impressive. So we went to the spin class and there was just this tacit like competition between, niece and aunt. And I have never worked out so hard in my life because I wanted to keep up with her because she's very fit. I threw up. I fell off the bike and threw up because I was
In
trying.
the class, or you like
I
got
like
to the
ran out. I
bathroom?
got to the bathroom, but I've never vomited. Like I've heard Will Smith be like, "You didn't have a workout unless you
Oh, yeah.
throw up." And I was
Oh,
always like,
really?
"Ew, what?"
Shut up, Will Smith.
I know.
It'd be funny if you guys
Well,
were,
yeah,
in-
now.
Slap him.
were next to each other in stalls throwing up because you made each other work.
I mean, that was
hard.
later after lunch, but just kidding. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
But
Wait, I want to hear that. Oh,
Yeah, there we
God.
go.
There.
That's a good
it
one.
is.
but yeah. So I'm just reading this book, but it's just making me kind of look at things
I
differently.
was so mad at her when you went out there.
Why?
Because you threw up. She worked you so hard.
She didn't do it. No one
Yeah,
makes you do
I mean-
anything. We went to a spin class. I chose to be like
I know.
those classes. You set your own settings on the bike, and they say, "Hey, if you want to go to an 8, go." But no one's going like, "If you don't." She wasn't like holding a gun to my head.
I think
She hates
you
guns.
had wine the night before too.
Oh, probably.
That's why you probably got
Yeah.
sick.
No, it was because I was working out too hard.
Well, I know, but you had drinks the night before. I
But
think.
it was my own fault. I love when you go, I'm mad at her.
I
It's like,
was
what
mad
did
at her.
she do?
Yeah.
Well, no, she's a very when
Oh,
I
she
go
does.
visit her, she's like, "We're going on a 17-mile hike up this mountain." I'm like, "F you! I'm not going up that mountain for She does that to you.
She does.
And then you feel guilty like a loser if you don't follow
she
through.
is so fit.
When she comes to St. Louis, you should do the same thing to her. You should be like, "We're going to 17
Goodwills."
Goodwills."
Exactly. She
And be like,
would.
see if she can
she
hang with
would.
you.
She'd be throwing
Yeah.
up in the bathroom.
Yeah, mostly because like the clothes are
because the
filthy.
smell.
Yeah.
She'd be throwing up.
Speaking of like feats of endurance, guess how many miles Chris? Guess how many hours Chris rode his bike last Friday?
It was Sunday. Yeah,
Okay,
Sunday.
last Sunday in New York City, Chris went to visit his friend Vaughn, who Chris is going to Europe I'm not going to say when because his house will be abandoned. You might go in there and get
Don't
artifacts.
say it then.
But that's my mom's rule. Nick, don't you
God's-
ever post when we're out of town.
I don't let
tax
anybody
man's
know
watching.
that
They're
I'm out
gonna
of town.
come get us. So he's going out of town. He's going to Europe. What are the dates and what's your address? And he is he's going on this bike trip. Explain what you're doing.
So I've got these 4 friends and we've gone like for several years now on these big bike trips, and one of our friends is just he's just an amazing human person, and he sets up these unreal bike trips where you're doing like hundreds of miles in a few days, and
I
you're
hate
just-
him already.
no, it's actually
I really
actually kind
do.
of
I
awesome.
think that's ridiculous.
No, it does sound
I'm
ridiculous.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I wish you did.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just kidding. Anyway, we go on these big elaborate trips, and we're going to Iceland, and he's got
Iceland.
he's got like 4.5 days of just beautiful cycling. We're gonna go see the lava.
What?
There's lava right now. I haven't told you yet.
What? Really?
Yeah, so there's like an active volcano right now. It's not like erupting, but the
occasionally.
lava.
Is it irape? Because that's irape to my ears. That
Wait,
you're gonna be. Don't be in danger.
I'm not gonna be in danger.
Chris is a little bit of a ledge head, which is a thing that we coined.
What is a ledge head?
It's people that like
You
to
don't
get
know
close
about
to the ledge when they're taking pictures or when you're like at like Brenna. Andrew coined it. Brenna is a ledge head. Like they will go to like Castlewood Park and there's like a lookout
Right.
and she'll go to a place that's like if by any chance there was some erosion that happened that day, she would fall to her death. But it's
She's
not
not
likely.
afraid of that.
She just takes it to the next level where it's like, okay, if you got dizzy right now and fell, you would die. That's not going to happen. But like, I always stand from a distance that even if I like somehow started having a seizure, I would not tumble off the mountain. But like ledge heads just live on the edge. And
You say that she's going to die, but that's just allegedly.
Jeez.
It's not definitely going to happen.
and you don't want to be a dad.
That joke would have killed on my show.
So, yeah, you were a bit of a ledge head in that way. Like when we were in Keene, up in New York, there were just times where Chris was just getting a little too close to the ledge, and I was just like, "This guy's gonna die." And then he was telling me about these bike trips, and he's like, "I like going fast down the mountain."
I'm really bad at going up the hills because I'm not as strong as the other guys I go
Right,
with.
it's hard.
They're all a lot stronger than I am, but going down the hills,
You like to
I
fly.
smash them all.
Well, in that, what he says that he even goes faster down the hills than the trainer that you guys, or like the guy.
Well, no, I was following closely behind a pro who wasn't going as fast as he could, but I was keeping up with a guy who's been in like the Tour de France, and it was like probably the proudest I've ever been in my life, and he wasn't even trying. He was just like letting gravity do its job.
That tells me
That
Reckless.
guide is reckless.
No,
first of all,
no, Chris,
because
Chris should not be keeping up. Chris isn't a pro, so the fact that you're going as fast as a pro makes me
He
feel like
wasn't
you
going. Hey, listen, I don't want to make it sound like I was keeping up with a pro because I wasn't. I was going down without breaking as much as my friends were.
was
You're
this
gonna break a lot.
Was this a straight down
Allegedly.
or a
We have
gradual?
talked about this before when we watched that dumb movie. It's not a dumb movie, but that guy that like wanted to climb those 13 peaks
Right.
in
Oh, I thought
a
you were
short
talking
amount
about
of time.
Fast and the Furious.
You love that reference.
I don't know why I keep going back to the well.
There's 13 of them.
Yeah.
So we climb. That's what
No,
I
I
want
was
to do. I
talking
want to
about-
watch 13 Fast and Furiouses no one's ever done it in 1 year. Most times it takes 7 years to accomplish that. So I'm going to do what that guy did. But anyway, we watched the show and I got so mad at Chris because he was like, there's this one there's this one mountain called K2. And they're like people that climb, maybe it was Annapurna or K2, but it was like 50% of the people that attempt this die. And I go, because Chris the whole time was like, God, this looks so fun. I would love to do this stuff. And I'm just like kind of keeping my mouth.
K2?
No, just, about the other mountains that aren't as treacherous. And then we get to K2 and I go, would you do that one? And he's like, yeah. And I go, with the 50% chance of dying, you would do that. And he goes, yeah.
I've wanted to do all of that for a while, but it's just casually the way people are just like, oh, I want to be an astronaut or like I want to do these cool things.
I don't
But
want
I would
you to
absolutely,
die.
if I could get somebody to fund the whole project, I would be like, yeah, I'd be there tomorrow. I'd start training.
But with a 50% chance of dying.
Yes.
They do
Why?
not.
Because-
People don't 50% chance going up K2.
Mom, yes,
The
it
one
is.
in Everest?
Mom, yes, I swear to God, it was on this documentary. That is the stat. 50% of people who attempt it, or maybe it's like let's say it's 25%. Why would you do something where the people who train to do this, 25% of them die? Why would you do that? I don't understand it.
It was because it would be awesome.
But you have
It would be so
you
much
only
fun.
have one life.
Yeah,
Listen.
Is anything
but I don't want to
worth
live.
that in life?
That is like an accomplishment like that
I
would
don't
make you.
think-
I think that would change you fundamentally if you could accomplish
Yeah,
something like that.
change you because you won't be existing anymore. There's
Allegedly.
a 25%. But I really don't understand that. There's no thing in the world that I would do for the experience that was a 25% chance of me dying. No thing.
You really wouldn't like if you like. What is a big dream of yours?
Like,
Oh, well, how about
performing
this?
with Taylor
Yeah.
Swift in an arena show at Madison Square Garden.
And there was a 25% chance that you could.
Never in a million years would I do that because I want to live.
Yeah,
And that is a high percentage of dying.
I
We got to
also
go to
want
break. We'll explore this more when we get back right after this. Andrew!
Andrew.
What would you say, Mom?
Well, I mean, I feel bad. Andrew's gone, and Chris and I are taking his place.
Andrew's in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and he's having a good
What?
old time.
He lives in an apartment. What?
What?
Well, he's out of
He's
town.
out of town. Mom's worried.
I'm worried about Andrew's apartment.
Yeah,
I
we
don't know
wouldn't
why
want
I
anyone-
would even worry
Apartment
about
2C.
Yeah, we wouldn't want anyone stealing his Willie Nelson
or his
T-shirt.
golf clubs.
Or his clubs. That is
Oh,
the thing.
God.
His clubs, his precious clubs.
Those are probably locked up.
No, knowing Andrew,
Do they keep
our
a nice
building
little-
Where do you
very
think
secure.
he keeps them in his apartment?
in a
Do you think
in
they
a
have a
closet? But I
place?
also think he probably just keeps them in his trunk in his car because he goes so often.
Yeah. So his car's parked on the second level.
I figured they just slept in between Brenna and Andrew.
He does love them.
In their king size?
He does love them.
They do have a king size bed, and babe,
yeah.
we gotta.
You have to.
I have to.
I
The
can't
other
do
night,
this
I
anymore.
can't do it
Yeah.
anymore either. Like, we were talking last night about like our relationship and like things that we want to do to show each other like we're in this, and I was like, I was on a run the other day, and I was like, getting a king size bed will be a message to Chris. I care about him and his comfort.
I haven't wanted to say it because it's just like I'm not going to pressure my sweet lady into like getting a king size bed when she's got a bed that she really is happy with.
I'm not happy
But
with
this is
it.
the greatest news. This
Well,
is the
And
best
as
thing
long
that
as
happened
you
to our
set up my
relationship.
bed jet,
It is
Yeah,
the best
easy.
thing that we ever did. Your dad
I'm
and
getting
I.
a king size bed.
I'm not kidding
like
you.
right now. Like I'm ordering it
Can I
as
have
soon
your
as we
old
get off. You are sniping in so quick.
I think you should get the king size and give me
So
your
you
old one.
Can I? But you just said the best thing you ever did was I have a queen. Why do you want to go back?
Because I need one for the extra bedroom.
All right,
Okay.
okay, you
Just
can have it.
All right.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Wait, say it with it. 1, 2, 3.
Just kidding. Do it again.
3D
1,
radio.
2, 3.
Just kidding.
This is the whole episode.
Love that.
Yeah, Mom, is there anything you would do with a 25% chance of dying? And I know smoking is something you did for 33 years of your life, so that was kind of maybe
God, you've got
the
that
exact same
down.
thing.
How'd you know 33? I just
think
had to actually go to the doctor yesterday
Yeah?
and get all this lung stuff done.
And what did we see?
Well, I haven't told you all this, but my last time I went to the doctor, that's much better. The last time I went to the doctor, I mean, I've had, I've had a collapsed lung before.
Yeah.
And I haven't smoked for 14 years.
I know my mom quit. How'd you quit?
Cold turkey.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You use the Alan Carr method, Mom.
Well, that was cold turkey.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It's saying I'm not smoking anymore.
No.
But you can smoke the whole time you're reading the book.
Yeah, no, that book
And
is
then
what
at the
got
end
you
of the
to-
book, you stop smoking.
You do. But that's not cold turkey. Cold turkey is not using any method. That's a method.
It's the same.
You got to
but I
give him
did read
shout
that.
outs
I got to
because
give a
that's
shout
going to
out.
help people quit smoking.
Yeah,
because
I-
cold turkey does not work. You will go back to it. It's people have had success with that, but the Alan Carr method is how you quit smoking.
Okay. All right. Well, I definitely have to give it credit.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, on my last report, I did had a whole physical, and it came back like I'm reading the bylines underneath, and it said emphysema. And I called my doctor. I said, "Oh my God, it says I have emphysema." She said, "No, you don't." So she said, "Let me call the
What?
let me call the technician." So I was like freaking out. I didn't want to tell you any of this because I didn't know what was going on. So yesterday, I took 6 months to get into this pulmonary doctor that I had to go through all these tests yesterday. And
Paul Maneri,
pulmonary.
Dr. Maneri. Okay,
Dr. Pulmonary.
I hear he's good.
He's so good.
He's
my God.
actually a
He gave me great
podiatrist,
news.
but-
If you dare make fun of my dad joke, how
that your
dare you? No, the other one. I don't even want to mention it anymore.
Okay.
It wouldn't have killed on my show. It would have gotten a lot of eye rolls.
Anyway,
I liked it.
So I went through all these tests, and then you get an X-ray, and I went into this doctor all morning.
Wait, so for 6 months you thought you might have emphysema,
Yeah,
and you didn't tell me
yeah,
because
Because-
it's none of my business.
because it's none of your business.
Okay.
Well, it is kind of your business. You are my daughter, so I was gonna.
Yeah.
after I found out the test and stuff.
Well, we don't talk that often, so it's
Yeah.
6 months is nothing for us.
It's the polyps thing that
Yeah,
we haven't
yeah.
talked. So.
Okay.
Anyway, it turns out she's like, she said, I wouldn't have even seen this on the x-ray. You have great lung capacity. She said, you have so little emphysema that it's not worth talking about.
But you do have it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I smoked you
just get emphysema if you smoke for 33 years.
But she said it's not going to get any worse.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Yeah. She said it is so faint. You can't. She said I couldn't have seen this, and the other doctor looked at it. He couldn't see it.
Your lungs are so tiny.
They're so tiny.
You can't even see that. Your emphysema is so skinny. Wait a second. I cannot
What's your
believe
emphysema
this.
secret?
It's called
Green tea.
green tea is great, and vodka. It keeps it at bay.
Wait,
Just
that's
kidding.
so exciting.
I know it's a just
kidding.
no.
You just said just kidding.
You just ruined my whole story with
No,
that
I
just
didn't.
kidding button.
No, you just said just kidding. I had to, emphasize it.
Anyway,
emphysema
it was all good news to me. I was like,
That's so
oh,
great.
Celebrate.
Oh my God. Because that is scary. Like when you know, people always are like,
Well, it
why
takes
would you
6 months.
smoke when you know what could happen?
Yeah.
Like
It
the
was-
whole
it's
time
not
I'm watching
smart.
Casablanca, I'm like, one of my questions for that movie was like, everyone's smoking all the time in that movie. Literally every single scene is just smoke. And that's just the way it was back then in the 40s, like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, smoking indoors all the time.
On
When
planes.
did everyone realize, didn't everyone feel sick all the time? Like, I feel so, when I smoked, I felt sick like, you're constantly breathing in a smokestack. Like, you feel tired. Like, didn't people
No.
feel like this is killing us? Like, how did they not know?
No.
But the truth is, even if you know something's killing you, it's not. If
So,
it,
yeah,
if it
there's
worked
my
to see disgusting
25%.
lungs, or if it worked to see to know Surgeon's General warning and have these graphic pictures on cigarettes, that doesn't work. Like, that does not deter people from doing it. There's a cognitive dissonance there that you're going to be the exception. Like,
That's right.
so it doesn't work that. But my favorite Norm Macdonald joke that I can remember off the top of my head is like, you ever see a picture of a smoker's lung? It's disgusting. You ever see a picture of a healthy lung? It's disgusting. It's like, it is like the same thing. What's your favorite Norm joke off the top?
Oh my God! Off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Well,
just
I mean, do you want me to go into the moth joke?
No. It's
much
like
time you
that's
got?
like a moth storytelling show.
I mean, the one that I think just popped into my. I mean, God, there's so many good ones. The one that just popped into my head was the one about. Oh man, I just want to do like 100 of them.
I heard a good joke from Jesselnick yesterday. Growing up, my family moved all the time, but now they're all fat pieces of shit.
That's a Norm joke.
It's just a Jesselnick joke.
that's a
But it
good
was
one.
That's funny.
usually his jokes are very long, and then the end, it's like
Right.
someone's dead or molested.
Yeah.
That one was just like 1, 2, and I really liked it.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I'm trying to think of like quick Norm jokes, but
Well,
they
there's
are-
one that was like, he's
Yeah.
like, have you seen these? I mean, there's so many of them that I love. This isn't the one that I love the most.
Yeah,
It's
yes.
the one I remembered first. But he's like, these Olympic events, they're getting crazy. I saw this guy run 1,500 miles and then fish. That was bad.
No, that's funny.
It was so good. Chris and I were talking about like stand-up jokes or like just observations, and I really loved the one, like you said that. What was the one you had, Chris, that you were like about talking to people in your car? Can you share it?
Which is what?
Like when you were like, I don't always, but
Oh, yeah,
when
you
I
know
do,
those-
I like this one.
Those memes that are like, I'm looking at my favorite Norm jokes right now, but
Yeah.
those memes that are like, I don't always do blah, 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 but when I do, I da, da, da.
Yeah.
Mine was, I don't always, when I communicate, what did I say? It was like, I don't always communicate with cars on the road, but when I do, I talk like this and make motions with my hands. and let little bits of volume come out of my.
Like,
Right, you gotta roll down. Your gas tank. Your gas tank is open. But you're not even whispering. You're just like, it's even worse. It's like your gas tank is open.
it's such a weird noise.
Why are you sort of talking?
You were like, I sound like Marley Matlin.
Oh, here's a good Norm one. You know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him.
Mom, do you know any stand-up jokes that, like, you are a big fan of Kathy Griffin? I know.
Oh, I knew you put me on the spot about remembering.
My voice
jokes.
coach works with her.
Are you kidding?
No.
I once walked in on my parents having sex. It was the most embarrassing 30 minutes of my life.
That's funny. No, I can't think of any.
Isn't it funny? Like, you can consume stand-up all the time, and you, like, even for me, I'll go to a whole entire show and I'll laugh the whole time, and I won't remember a single fucking joke. Like, you can't retell a single joke. What, you know?
Yeah,
I've read a lot about this, and I've probably said this before, but it bears repeating, that when you go to a stand-up show, that's why the opener is the most important joke, and then the opener and the closer. The middle does not matter. And if you're doing a special, the end is actually the least important because people usually don't even get to that anyway. The opener is always the most important. People in life understand the first and last of something, and people usually remember jokes they don't like versus the joke they liked the most, because evolutionarily it is more important for us to remember things that cause us pain or cause us suffering, so that we don't eat that berry again. We don't travel down that path that has a grizzly bear on it. That's going to serve us more for survival than, like, remembering, like, oh, that made me feel, like, happy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What I'll remember after this podcast is not remembering any Norm jokes.
Exactly.
Here's another one. Here's another one I love. It's ID is a strange abbreviation. I is short for I, and D is short for
Identification.
Identification.
Oh God, is it like, for him it's like delivery or the joke itself? I can't really tell, because when you said that joke,
it's hard to separate those two. Yeah.
I loved his special, so his latest quote unquote special, so much. I know the people, that whole thing where Spade and Letterman and Molly Shannon and Chappelle were all talking about it afterwards. It was in Netflix.
And
Sandler and Conan. That was so uncomfortable, and I really did not like that. But I liked the special so much, and I thought it was so funny. I thought it did count as a stand-up special. I thought it was everything. It was pretty much what Bo Burnham did, like, just without an audience and just quietly in his room. Like, I thought it was just as satisfying as a stand-up special. I really was like, this could be the new model. Like, I would watch someone just at their computer telling jokes to a screen. I don't need to see crowd shots. I don't need to hear laughter to understand when I should laugh. Like, that stuff does help, and it even helps me. Like, laughter is contagious.
I think it also helps that both of those guys, like, you could do it, and there's a few dozen comics that could do it, but you kind of have to have the gravitas of a Bo Burnham or a Norm Macdonald. Like, those guys, they're great, incredible performers. So, like, it can't just be anybody.
The stand-up I hate is the stuff that is bolstered by the audience and the pauses and the looks after they hit the punchline of.
Yeah, and what's essentially a laugh track.
Yes, it's like those comedians that I'm someone
Isn't
who's.
that a gift to be able to?
No, I hate, if I get a big laugh, you will notice I will step on the laughter, because I just feel so self-indulgent, like writing it out and being like, isn't that a gift I just gave you, everyone? Because as a comedian, you can ride those waves, and you can abuse that. I'm not trying to brag, but if you watch my special and add up the amount of words I say versus anyone else's hour, I guarantee you it's not just because I talk fast. It's because I'm not letting those moments, like, and probably to my detriment. Like, some people like when things breathe, and like you allow the audience to, like, the laughter to die down, and then you take a breath. I think it is so self-indulgent. I am someone, I've never understood comedians who after a show stand out and wave and take it all in and walk from the side of the stage to Canada. Remember?
Yes. But what I like what you do is you're out of there. But I kind of assumed a lot of this stuff was because it's just a natural part of your personality to talk fast and get through things.
Yes.
But I do like how you're not basking in it like a bunch of other people do. And we know who they are. But what I do like is you don't sit there and try to take it all in like that setting in front of everybody. You go talk to people afterwards.
Yes.
So, like, that's what you like, kind of that one-on-one interaction with people, because you like a little bit more.
Well, I just don't.
What were you saying, Noah?
I feel like people need to get home to their
that's a good
babysitters.
observation.
But I will say at the same time, when I went to see Dave Matthews in the year 2000, I had the best seats that I ever had, 16th row at Riverport. When he said goodnight, I wanted him to stay out there so freaking long. So as a fan, I just feel like I've already done an hour and a half. These people are tired. They want to get home. That's too much talking anyway. I've overindulged in talking. I need to leave the stage. These people need to get to their cars and get the fuck home and relieve the babysitter.
And when you say an hour and a half, you really mean 2 hours and 15 minutes, right?
Like me talking an hour and a half, but the whole show itself, yeah. But yeah, sometimes.
Well, no, I've been at shows where you go to like 2 hours and
Yes.
it's funny the whole time.
That's too much, and I feel bad that I do that. And that is me without taking these comedians. I don't understand. It is just a different.
That's
It's
Nikki.
They
low
want to
self-esteem.
bask
Yeah.
in this. They
But
like it.
But stop
Can I
it.
just
You're just
say
telling
as
a
like an
joke.
audience
you don't need
member?
to. Yeah.
As an audience member, like all these things that you're pointing out, it makes sense to me now listening to you dissect it. But when I'm at a comedy show and I like all the different comedians, even the ones that you don't like, I'm too stupid to know their techniques, and I don't care. I'm just there to enjoy the jokes
know.
and the laughs.
I know. But as someone who knows the tricks, it bugs me. I guess it's just like if you were in a like it's like anything when you can see people within your profession not doing it earnestly and not actually getting when you see and I've used tricks before. I've admitted to this on the podcast. There are definitely road hack tricks that like every comedian does, laughing at your own joke, hitting your leg, acting like it's the first time you say it. The Chappelle thing of like, oh my God, that's so funny. Like everything I
cracking
say,
myself up.
it makes everyone laugh. It makes me laugh. It tricks me. Like there's these things that I utilize. I'm not a perfect person, but I am. There is this thing in comedy that I can't stand the gloating afterwards. But I will say that as a fan, Dave Matthews, when I lingered at that 2000 show, I got on my seat and everyone started going to their cars, and Dave was still on the side of the stage, kind of still waving, and he saw me, and I was one of the only ones still fucking jumping up and down and waving, and he waved directly at me. And I had a moment with Dave Matthews before the moment where I told him I was in his sphere, and also before the moment where I told him that he should play a song that's funky, and he did not like it. So this was the only good moment I've had with Dave Matthews was in the year 2000, like September, pre 9/11. And Dave definitely saw me, and that mattered to me that moment.
What is like a favorite type of thing a bestie can do or does at a show, or like what is the thing that you like at the shows, after the shows, right when you are waving or whatever?
I love and I love you. I love when they cry. I love when they shake. Some of them are very embarrassed because they're like, I'm shaking. This is like, I love all that because it's real. Like whatever's real for you. I don't care if what's real for you is like, I'm sorry, I kind of want to fuck you. Like if that's real for you, say it. Like don't touch me, but like you can say whatever you want. I might go, well, that's a weird thing to say, but like, as long as they're being honest, I don't want anyone to try to be
Yeah.
Just don't be just be yourself, and that's what I like.
Mrs. Glaser, when your fans come up to you, what are some of your favorite sort of?
Well, I do like when they don't touch me or hug me.
You don't like that?
I don't like hugs.
Really?
From anybody?
From strangers? No.
Okay.
You don't like how this? Well, back to my childhood.
Yeah.
But you've
boy.
gotten a lot of attention from the TV
Oh
show,
my
right?
God, no, not really.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
she has.
Not really. No, just a few people recognize me and they're like,
But if you were like actively online and knew how to read your message requests and like things like that, you would be getting flooded with stuff. That's where I get most of my love is like DMs. And if you did meet and greets after your grocery store runs, you would also be.
You should
getting
do
lot
a meet
more.
and greet at Goodwill's
I'm
all around the
thinking
city.
about
You
it.
should do a
Yes.
little tour.
well, I did get recognized the other day by this cadre old guy. And I was like, oh God. He's like, movie star. I'm like, what? Saw you on a commercial or something.
I know they always
with
have
your
to like
daughter.
Well, that's not nice.
It was just
This
weird.
movie star because
Yeah.
they're jealous, and so they have to do the thing of like, oh, you think you're big time. It's like, no, you think I'm big time. And that is why you're saying movie star. You're jealous that you think that I think I'm better than you when I don't think I'm better than you. You are thinking that I think I'm better than you because you're insecure that you could never be on TV. And it is kind of your dream, isn't it, you old cadre man? So you have to say, movie star. I don't think I'm a movie star. You do,
Well,
clearly.
I've never been in a movie, so
No,
I don't know what he's talking about.
Let's go to break. We'll be right back. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
I'll put you in one. We'll be right back with Fanthrax.
Brenna.
She knows everything.
Welcome back to the show. No, my mom during the break was like, "I'm gonna go get my coffee," and Noah goes, "I think there, actually, Julie, I think there is a coffee cup right next to you."
God, does she imitate everyone?
And it's-
How's Chris?
love it.
How do you imitate Chris?
I don't have that. Nikki, I love you so much. Yeah, my girl, Glaze. No, you're great. You're great. Glaze.
No, really, you're great.
You have to have something, right?
What?
Some sort of impression.
That's what was my impression of like.
You didn't.
You haven't perfected it yet.
if
You're
you
great
know-
at Nikki. What people may not know. Do people know how great you are at 2-second impressions? Have you talked about 2-second
I
impressions on
think
this?
people get a sense of it on the show a little bit because
Okay.
we'll drop into it
I don't
sometimes.
know
But I
if
don't think I've
besties really can know how good you've been at all that stuff.
The thing is, I realize I'm so not as good at impressions as Anya and Kirsten. Being around them and they're just cursory impressions, they are so fucking good. It's really insane how good they are.
But
and
you-
like I could be better.
You are really
She's
good
so
at
good.
it. Oh my god.
if
just
things
because
fall
they're-
in my vocal range,
Yeah.
I can
well,
do it.
do Aniston. I've always loved
Well,
it.
for you, I will say that I can. Oh, the other day, by the way, Melissa Villasenor, she like was writing me and was like, "I just want to let you know, like your special was amazing." You know, like she wrote me about my special. It was very nice. And then she was like,
know who that
"And I'm
is.
working on an impression of you." She's like guys, like I don't know, like old souls. It's not a thing. Like she did it, and it was very flattering, and it was actually really good. And I was like, "Thank you." It's the first time someone's not done an impression of me that's like, "Oh, God, I hate that." Like every time someone does an impression of me, it sounds like the guy from Love on the Spectrum season 2, where he's like, "I can't find my sword. Oh, this is not working. I lost my debit card, Dad. This is not good. Oh God, Dad, where's my cloak and dagger?"
I know exactly
But
who you're
Chris-
talking
Yeah, I
about.
do too. It's good. It's a great impression.
He's
pretty good.
very me. Like, but so my impression, the thing I will say is that I don't do an impression of Chris, but Chris's mannerisms have worked their way into my stand-up. Like, anytime you hear me go, "And you know, that's what you do," like kind of jackpot, that like, jackpot. That is something I've picked up from Chris.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good
and
one.
you know what? I think we're going to do it. Like, that is something, I mean, this goes back to 2013, 14, where
Yeah, because I don't even know if I'm doing that anymore.
I don't think you are, but I got that from you initially.
It's funny because I'm like when you do that on stage, I'm like, that's good. I like that.
I like it.
That's really funny.
Yeah, that's you.
Has Mrs. Glaser? Have you been on the podcast before? I have no
Yes.
idea. Okay, so people have like explored your relationship and
Yes.
Wait, can I just hold that button and do that?
Yes. You can. Yeah, I wish we could explore it right now, but we have to get to Fanthrax,
Oh,
which is our
Fanthrax, sorry.
Yeah, our messages from besties about the show. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear these actually.
Is there a section for corrections and compliments?
You know what? That's kind of like a part of the voice messages. So they can go onto our Instagram and
Okay.
they can send voice memos to us through this link and like and they let us know sometimes like, "Hey, you were talking about this and actually this was." Yeah, so like if
Okay,
you
cool.
ever want to like write into the show,
I could do a
Absolutely,
correction
you
and
can do a
compliments.
Fanthrax,
Okay, but I
yeah.
can't do it on the show today.
No, you can do it right now.
Okay, cool.
You want to start us off?
I don't want to mess with Fanthrax.
Okay.
Fanthrax
No,
is,
you can.
is the
We can do
besties.
live. We can do a live Fanthrax.
Okay.
You can start
Let's
us
start
off.
the
But
segment.
let's get to Fanthrax. Welcome to Fanthrax. This is the part of the show where we hear from people, our listeners, about the show, compliments, criticisms, not really criticisms, but corrections. And we've got our first one live here in studio.
Well, let's do the other ones because then I'll just hear the vibe of them and then I'll pepper mine in.
Gotcha.
Is that okay?
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's get a sense of it. Let's do the first one, Noah.
Okay, let's start with India.
Hi, Nikki. My name is India. I'm a longtime listener here. Big fan of you guys. I was listening to your segment on gibberish, and I'm so excited. I've been speaking gibberish with my mother since I was 5 years old.
Aww.
She's the only other person I knew who knew about it, so I'm starting to think she made it up until I heard you guys talking about it. I did want to chime in. The way that I have best taught people how to speak it, you had it right when you said break it up into syllables, but the best way after that is that you add the g to the vowel in each syllable. So my name, India, like the country, is Ithagin Didagi Ithaga, Ithagin Didagi Ithaga.
Yes.
Andrew, Ithagan Dridagu, Nikki, Nivagik Givigi,
Add it to the
Noah,
vowel.
Nivago with a ga. So adding the othaga to the vowels in each syllable has helped me teach people, though, nobody picks it up except for me and my mom, which we use all the time. Anyway, big fan. Thank you guys.
To the ganky, the goo, the gindi, the guy with the guz with the gunter, the gur, the gang, the gif, you, the goo, the gav, the gur, the gird, the guff, the gorse, you, the goof, the gird, the gus, the gong, but the guy, the gay, the gut, the gan, the guess, the gore, the guess, the get, the ganky, the goo. In that song, she's
Gazoon
like,
tight.
"Thank you, India. Thank you." No, I loved it.
Oh, Noah, it just
God
warms
love
my
her.
heart
Noah's
over
so
there.
cute. I love when Noah has a burst. It's so cute, and it really is the best. laugh.
feels so
Timed
good.
perfect.
Wait, I can't
That is
believe
exactly
that girl.
how I feel when Nikki gets into these gibberish things, because no matter how many times you explain it, my brain just can't.
Well, maybe now
yeah.
you can get it
and
because
that's
you add it to the
exactly
vowel.
Gazoon tight.
And Noah knows several languages too, and she
I know.
still can't
I
even
was
get
just
it.
gonna make that joke. This could be your third, Noah.
Oh my God. No, Nikki, you would never teach me that.
The guy with the good to the geet
That
to
was
the
your
goo. Yeah,
that was your secret
but
language.
that's the gats to the gal with the gee to the gout the gut, but the gout green vase.
Did you make this? Did you make this up with Kirsten?
No, this
Or
was
is this
something
like
we
a-
learned on spring break from some boys that we met like on the beach that
What
taught us.
boys?
It was before I met you, Chris. It was before I met you. So I didn't talk like this to those boys. I promise I didn't talk like that to those boys.
Thank God.
And anyone I met in spring break in high school, we know from me having Daniel, the bestie on the show, a guy I met, one of the Alabama boys we met in spring break. I was not hooking up with boys. There was
Right.
no hanky panky going on. If anything, there was like the hokey pokey going on, and we were dancing to that. That was the most. I was not grinding on anyone. I was like
used that-
maybe going to grind coffee.
Have you used that joke? The
No.
hanky panky hokey pokey.
No.
That's good. You need to bring that to,
Okay,
to
well,
the
remind
show.
me
Yeah.
of that.
You should do that
All right.
sometime.
Are you ready for your one, or do you want to get
Oh yeah,
another
yeah,
sentence?
I'll do a correction, and then later I'll do a correction and a compliment. Well, one correction. Yesterday, I chose accuracy over what I actually felt during something that we talked about on the podcast, and you were like, "What do you didn't say it was a great show?" And I was like, "No, I said this is great television." And yes, your show, Fboy Island, is a great television show. You're the best host of any reality show I've ever seen. I've watched a lot of reality TV. You are by far the best host. You do things that no host has ever done, and you're funny, and you're saying things that people at home would be thinking or saying, or like the funny version of those things. So I just want to clarify.
That's so nice.
I could tell that it didn't sit right with you, and it's true. It is a great TV show, and you're great at it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That is
That is really
You
nice
are
of
great.
you
First
to
correction.
say. I appreciate that. Noah, are you still there? Because you just went blank on the screen.
Oh yeah, I'm still here. And on that
do
note,
a-
can I play
Okay.
a voicemail about F-Boy?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, babe. I love you.
Hello, it's bestie Bad BoiRiRi. I love you, Noah, Nikki, and Andrew so much.
Love you.
I started some F-boy drama. I was stumbling upon Nikki's stories, and then I started watching that cute comedian on F-boy Island. I forget his name.
Benedict.
But that guy. And I clicked on Mia, and I was like, oh, let's see what this gorgeous girl's doing. And she was live, so I started watching the live, and I commented, Peter gives me small D energy. And she started uncontrollably laughing, and I was shocked, and everyone was saying, you have to, you can't say anything, end the live. And she had also confirmed that she's not with Peter. Girl, I'm just stirring up drama, and I sincerely apologize, but, I'm living my grandma life here in the suburbs of Chicago. And it was an accident. Nikki, please get on live again. I just need to listen to you sing Taylor Swift and not stir up Fboy Island
I love
tea.
you.
But, tell that comedian Danny to hit me up if anything.
Dan
Love you all
Benedict.
so much.
Benedict, I think. Okay. Who is this? Bad Boy Riri? Is that what he said his name was?
Yes.
Bad Boy Riri. You are so cute. I fucking love you. And I want to be friends with you. Did you say he gives you small dick energy because Peter is an Asian man? Or is it something else? Because not a fan of that stereotype.
I'm kind of not a fan of any of that shaming sort of situation at all anyway.
This man seems like the way he's talking, he seems like he might know about penises.
Yeah.
So I feel like he has a right to kind of maybe say that stuff more because he has one. I don't like when girls do it, but for some reason when gay guys do it, it's not my favorite. But I'm not shaming you.
Right.
Big boy Riri, I appreciate your
well,
thing.
I mean, let's be honest. This
boy.
guy's got...
His name is
His
Big
big-
Boy.
yeah.
This guy
Like,
has
he-
Yeah.
BD.
Bad boy.
Yes.
He's punching down,
Bad
which
Boy.
I don't
That's
love.
right.
Right. Well, he also said he's a grandma in the suburbs of Chicago. He's maybe was having a bad day and was maybe... I get it. And listen, and this, he did not mean to stir up drama, but
What about Peter is like that though? I don't think I necessarily...
That's what I'm saying. I think it might just be, but to me,
Could
he
it
does
be the
not.
height
He has
thing?
total BDE to me. Peter, what?
Because could it be the height thing? Because Peter and the camera's kind of blurred how
Garrett.
like the height difference between
Oh,
Mia
yeah,
and
Mia
Peter.
is very tall. Mia's like 5'11", and Peter's
Oh my
probably.
God.
I'm height blind, as you know.
Thank God.
I know. But I'm guessing Peter's like 5'9", 10. I don't know, but he literally could be 6'2". I don't like. I'm not good at
He
guessing.
seems
these things.
smaller than most of the other guys out there.
Right.
I would say that he's probably 5'8", but I actually
So maybe
I
it's
don't
a
know.
height
But
thing. But as a lady who's been with shorter guys, that has nothing to do with
been with
just spiritually.
Like been standing next to.
one thing that
and when I feel their penis is sitting next to me,
Oh my God.
one thing
These
that
are meet and greets.
I didn't expect.
I love my fans.
That's a nice greet.
That's some nice meat.
Oh, Glaze.
Come on.
Glaze. One thing I didn't expect was to like so many of the guys on the show.
I know, aren't they nice?
Yeah, a few of them are
Yeah.
just like, these guys are great. They're like funny. They're like so natural and so
Yes.
like so much of themselves. And you just don't expect. You think they're all just going to be a bunch of d bags, but so much of them are like cool.
Even Mercedes, who is the biggest F boy, and like you watch him and you just go, God, this fucking snake. You know what? There was something endearing about him. Remember when Lucas during the mansplain comes out as bisexual
my
and announces that he is
God.
attracted to Mercedes? Mercedes is a very straight man, and I was very scared during that moment on the show that Mercedes was gonna like be like, "That's some gay shit. Don't fucking involve me in that," and like
Right.
lash out, because I had heard rumors that Mercedes had sort of a temper kind of thing, which was addressed on the show and which we saw on the show. So I was very nervous about that. But there was something that made me love Mercedes so much when he just goes, "I like you too, Lucas." Well, thanks, Lucas. And then he accepted it. He didn't have
Yeah.
this like a lot of. And I know that in Black culture, there is a lot of like anything gay is like, fuck you. Like it's different. I've heard that. Maybe I'm totally off base, but I've heard that, that's why the down low exists. Like men are not able to be openly gay or like, even a little bit Catholic
There's like
school
maybe
boy.
an extra stigma.
Yes. And so
Just the
I'm
fact that
someone
he was
who-
able to take that and handle that situation
Yes.
he seems like the smoothest person
Yes.
alive.
Alive, for sure. And you know what? As much as I'm like, I don't like how he, talked
I didn't
to people.
see the last one.
You know that when he calls people a fucking idiot or calls them goofy and like is just like I'm a 50-point lead. I didn't like all of that. There's something about me that goes, this kid has been told he's a fucking idiot a lot in his life, and I feel sad for him. But that doesn't excuse it. But there's
Right.
something I can.
There's something
There's
broken.
endearing things about the F boys.
I think to be an F boy, you have to be an F boy at the level that those guys are. There has to be something a little bit broken about you,
Absolutely.
right? Like you to need
that's
all
why
of
I
that.
say the F stands for fragile.
Oh yeah, that's really good. Mrs. Glaser? Who are some of your favorite F boys? Do you remember any of their names? Like, are there guys that you're like, oh, you're rooting for that? You're
Well,
like,
I already.
She loved the comedian Benedict.
Oh, I do like
Which,
him.
by the way, Benedict. Big
but I haven't seen
announcement.
the last one. so.
Benedict, if you come, I'm only keeping one tour date because I'm getting vocal surgery in early September. I'm only keeping one date. I'm kind of clearing my schedule, so there's going to be rescheduling for a lot of shows. But September 2nd in Vegas, I am keeping that. I didn't even realize it was a date that. But anyway, September 2nd in Vegas. If you come to see me, you will see Benedict Pelosi.
Oh, that's awesome.
Open for me. So it's going to be an F-Boy show. I'm very excited to have him on the show. I think people are going to be so excited to watch him because he was so funny on the show, and we wanted to get a chance to see. But I want to get a chance to see his stand-up. I
know from experience that the way you're portrayed on reality TV isn't necessarily the way you are in real life.
Yes.
But I think Benedict came off. I'm rooting for him big time in every single situation.
Yes.
I'm rooting for
he
him.
seems like a really good guy.
Me
I
too.
picked him from the get-go.
Well,
as a nice guy, honestly.
You knew.
I liked him.
You're so intuitive.
Well, Benedict
kind of am.
did a Q&A the other day on Instagram, and it was something about tell us some jokes about the show or something, and he was like, Nikki Glaser has the energy of a substitute teacher who would try to fuck your dad or something like that. And I was just having a bad morning. I was like in a depressed mood, and I was like, this guy's calling me old. Like, I'm gonna fuck your dad. Like, why wouldn't I try to fuck my students? Like, I was offended that he was like I'm like, and then someone was like, but he said substitute teacher, that like kind of means younger. And I was like, took it as like, I'm old. And I was just like, fuck this. And I was mad. And so I wrote underneath it, oh, thanks for laughing after all of your punchlines, so we know when to laugh. Otherwise we wouldn't know, or something like that. Because he is a comedian he does this really great laugh. And honestly, I was just lashing out, and then I took a shower, and I was like still kind of like fucking mad about it and being like, I'm old, and because I woke up on the wrong side of the fucking bed, my Craftmatic adjustable bed, because I'm old. And I was like,
really?
Why did
want
I do that? Oh my God, Mom. And so I wrote to him and I said, Benedict, that was so uncalled for. I just erased the comment. He goes, why did you erase that? That was the best thing ever that's ever happened to me. You roasted me. I took so much offense to it though, because I was having a bad day. And the reason he's opening for me now is because I was like, I'm just mad at you because of my own shit. And I was like, come open for me. Like, so it was kind of beautiful that this thing where and I appreciate any of these guys, anyone talking about me ever. I swear to God, even if you say something bad about me, I appreciate it because it's acknowledging I exist, which is also what I want.
Yeah.
Essentially, and it was a playful joke. I roasted these guys so fucking hard every night when they like had their they were like, everyone, like, I posted a joke last night that I did, and people were like, oh, the guys, their reaction to it wasn't that great. And I'm like, they put up with so much shit. They would come out for these elimination rounds, and they were like so tense, and like they're worried about the show. They're in love with this girl, and I'm like, oh, my period is tonight, and you guys look like you're farting a lot. Like, they were just like, oh God, like, can we not?
That's a good point. You are kind of mean to them, so I'm going to take back what I had to say. It's not a good show.
Final thought. Let's next Fanthrax.
Okay, let's go with Erin.
Hey, Nikki, Andrew, and Noah. This is bestie Erin from Charleston, South Carolina. I have a suggestion maybe for, I don't know, maybe just like a good game or short segment of like lies parents told us as kids that you learn later on into adulthood were just so not true.
Santa.
One of mine is when I was younger, I desperately wanted to try out for American Idol. And I am a terrible singer. This memory just came back. So I was belting the lyrics to You and I Both by Jason Mraz. And yeah, that was one that I used to record myself into my pink razor, and my poor family. It got to the point where they told me that it was impolite to sing indoors. So if I wanted to practice my vocals, I had to do it in the backyard. And well into my adulthood, I thought that it was horribly rude to break into song indoors.
It kind of is.
Anyways, yeah, there's a lot
to unpack
is
so funny.
there. But I love you guys so much. And I would love to hear your versions of what your parents told you. Signing off.
You and I Both.
Jason Mraz.
I love you so much. First of all, I sang You and I Both with Jason Mraz at that show in San Diego, and I love it so much. How does it
'Cause you and I.
Yeah, but it starts at.
Oh.
Was it you who spoke the words that things would happen just not to me? Oh, things. Well, this is so rude. I'm singing indoors. I had a similar thing to this when I remember singing in front of you and Dad at one point, and you guys said, "You know where you should sing is the bathroom because the acoustics are better." And so you sent me away to the bathroom, and I was in there, and I realized as I was in there, I put it together that they wanted to watch the TV show they were watching, and they wanted me to get out of the room.
Get out of there.
Because
Well, it does have great acoustics.
it's true.
It's true.
I love this question.
I love it too.
And we've done
Do you
it
have
on our show before, and somebody texted in our show, and I love this one so much. So obviously, like every summer the ice cream man comes around, and it's hell for parents. Apparently, I don't know. Like Brando on our show. Yeah, it's just like, but it's also like disrupts the entire family. They do it at dinner time and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And somebody in Columbia, Illinois, or something, Breeze or something, said that their parents told them that when they heard the ice cream man song, it meant they were out of ice cream.
That is
my
so
God, that's funny.
good.
So they only played the song when they were out of ice cream.
Oh my God. That is brilliant.
Yeah, it's pretty brilliant.
I'm trying to think of ones.
Mrs.
Santa
Glaser?
for me was a huge deception.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. I mean,
we went to
I have trust
extremes.
issues to this day about it.
Well, we wanted. You were so in love with Santa and the Easter Bunny and all
Chris,
those
it
things.
wasn't. It was just like I liked him, like
Just
the
like
idea
as a
of him.
friend. Yeah, you weren't in love with him. One of my favorite things that I've ever witnessed was at Lauren's wedding. Nikki did a whole big
God.
speech, and part of her speech was, Lauren did everything before me, and like obviously Lauren got married before you, and Lauren does all these things before me. She's doing this before me, but
Which is ironic because she's my younger sister.
Because she's my younger sister, and she found out that Santa Claus wasn't real before me, which is really embarrassing. But there were kids at the wedding,
So they found out.
They found out
that
at
Santa
Lauren.
wasn't real from my fucking
Yeah.
best woman speech or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, who cares?
They were crying in the bathroom. I was
Yeah.
like, honestly, it's better they know now because later on they're going to feel so disappointed when they're in 5th grade and they
Yeah.
finally find out that Santa isn't real.
It was a tough revelation for you.
What about you, Mrs. Glaser? Because you would have had things that were
Her parents didn't
from like
know
them-
she existed. She was one of 10.
Yeah.
There were some hard truths. If anything, they didn't lie to her.
Yeah, they never told us.
Do you
anything.
remember though anything?
Like something they told us that would have been?
Yeah, we just gave several examples.
Yeah, no, not really. They really never
Talk to you.
They never really talked to us. They didn't know we.
My
existed.
mom would just like run around the neighborhood and
Yeah.
like it is a miracle you weren't molested.
No,
and I think you could have
that
like
maybe I was.
It was like
And
the 70s though, so weren't there any like old times where they
No, it was-
don't get
it was
high on
60s.
your own supply?
It was no. When I was really young, I was 5 and 6. My mother said, "You never met a stranger," and I'm like, "Well, God damn it, Mom! You let me sit at the bus stop and go home with strangers and go get a cookie."
Yeah, but what she meant was you never met, like everyone was your friend.
Right,
And
that's
is
what she meant. But
what she should be saying is don't talk to strangers. But instead she
Exactly.
was like, you love strangers and we just let you go off with any
you
stranger.
just did. I knew everyone on our street. I'd been
I
in
will
their
say-
house intimately. No,
The one thing that, and they've been in you intimately, I will say the one thing that I remember my mom telling me as a young kid, and I've said this before, is that if you go, we lived on a river, Nikki.
Oh, yeah,
If you
I
go
had
down
to.
to the river.
had to. I said, "You will die."
So my mom
If you go across that street, you will fall down.
and
the
you,
hill,
it's
and
not, it wasn't you might die. You will die.
and you will never see us again. I had to scare the
That's
shit
what
out
she
of
would
you.
say to me.
I had to do it.
But I think that was like like the undertone of your entire relationship with your mom, like through your childhood.
Yes.
Because dangerous was your first word, and
Yes.
like
Yeah,
everything was out to get you.
We moved on a white water river, and she could have died.
But hey, she's not wrong. You're
But
alive right
could
now.
have
Yeah,
died.
you're alive.
Could have
She's
died.
alive.
But
Well,
then the
I
irony
said
was
if
my
you-
dad would come home from work and want to go kayaking and go, Nick, come on, let's go in the canoe. Let's go kayaking.
Well, that
Let's
was
go down and
different.
fish. And I would go, no.
He's trying to murder you.
Yes.
Well, that's why you hate
Well,
me
yeah.
wanting to climb mountains
Yes,
and doing dangerous
because
things.
you will. But that's like there was this one time. I
Yeah,
know we
that
have to
makes
wrap.
sense.
There was this one time that I was with Sabrina Jalise walking in Brooklyn, and we came across these little girls that were probably like 4 years old, 2 little girls, 4 years old. And they were on razor scooters, they're little razor scooters, and they were going so fast. And there were busy roads. I mean, and these little girls definitely shouldn't have been out. They got out and they just like went on a little adventure, just, probably up a couple blocks from their apartment. But I started chasing them because they were going so fast. And I was like, these girls don't have a chaperone. There's no one in sight.
Their ears are pierced.
What do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, so I went and I
Tattoos.
and I chased them because I was like, I need to find out where they're going. And these girls, no one's watching. So I chased them. They went back to their house. I went up to the door and I was like, were you, or I on the street, I was like, girls, are you with anyone? They were like, our babysitter's inside. And so I went up to the porch and I was like, hey, these girls got out there. She was like, oh shit. And she seemed to be alarmed. And, no, actually they said she's inside. And the girls went inside and through the screen door, I said, girls, if you ever do that again, and Sabrina witnessed this, and this was before I had put together my mom's kind of like weird warnings for me. I said, if you ever do that again, you will die.
No, you didn't.
These were roads that were like, I'm not kidding you, like Manchester Road, like 40 miles an hour right outside their door. These girls were on, and I go, you will die. And I went back to the street after I said that these girls are looking at me through the screen door that they've run inside because a woman was chasing them. And they're in the screen door just like looking at me like shaking, like, and I go, you will die. Do not ever go out without an adult. Ever, ever, ever.
Such good advice.
And I went back to the street and Sabrina and her wife, Shauna, were just like, Nikki, what was that? That was really disturbing. And they were both like, that was, and I was like, what was wrong with, like, I had no idea what I had done. And they were like, you told them they would die if they go outside. And I was like, but yeah, because that's going to scare them from going out and doing something where they'll die. I mean, we've come full circle. You cannot do K2. You will die. 25% chance. All right, guys, we got to go. Thank you so much for watching the show, listening to the show. Have such a great weekend. Don't be and Jackie Joyner Kersey.
Andrew's rich brother.